outside and you're having a good time and taking in the outdoors.
The fight isn't over. The fight is just beginning.
So nice to have the engine off and just sit and listen. This is why I like to ride solo quite a bit. Nobody got invited to this ride. Just, I like to stop and listen. I like to take in the scenery, take it slow, fly my drone around too. A lot of things that would really annoy people you're riding with. Seemed to work pretty good. I thought it would twist, but it actually didn't. Suspension on this has always bothered me a little bit, but I have it set up for slow stuff and it seems to do pretty good in the slower terrain. It's when I get up to speed it really comes out that the suspension on this, it's sketchy. Definitely gives you some head shake. It's not well balanced. The stink bug effect on this bike is pretty evident, which apparently they fixed on the 2020 models. But this is still a great bike, all things considered. No bike's gonna have no flaws, but apparently the closest thing to a bike like that is obviously the newest ones. Of course, they always say that, so you never really quite know. Would I really ride any better if I was on a 21 model or a 22? I don't know, probably not. However, things like your suspension are really important. So, if they made really good improvements to the suspension, then absolutely I'd be faster on that bike, because this is a bike that has a tendency to do some weird things. This bike really likes to be pushed, thrown around. Like if you get lax, not aggressive, this bike is not going to treat you well as far as its handling characteristics. But if you're actively riding it and, you know, really putting effort into what you're doing, this is a great handling bike everywhere except for higher speed stuff. I'm not gonna backtrack on that one. It's definitely bad at high speed. Like I took this thing to a desert race, actually 1 or 2 desert races. It gave me some head shake that was out of this world. It almost sent me out of this world straight to the shadow realm. Yeah, that first race, let's see, man, I can't remember. That was in 2019, I can't remember. I think there was 2 races, one of which I had a flat front tire, which almost killed me. Oh God, that's a thick boy. That branch just demolished my hand. One thing about a ride like this, I'm pushing through stuff and it looks like it doesn't hurt. Most of the time I don't mention it, and if I do mention it, it's going to be bleeding or really black and blue. On a normal ride, I come home with some pretty gnarly stuff. Like on this ride, I've been shanked a couple times already. That one was across the knuckles. I think my knuckles are hurting pretty good on that one. But from my last ride, when I took those guys from New Jersey to Idaho City, I got shanked on that one on my bicep, and it was like pretty gnarly looking. It's normal though. I mean, I end up with something like that, it seems like every ride. And that's why I like to wear a sweatshirt, a good quality sweatshirt that doesn't have a tendency to snag. The thing that I've noticed that works the best for me is Under Armour. Under Armour's work really well. And I honestly think they should start making some gear like that. I wouldn't want to do hard enduro in that because it's going to be hot, but normal riding would be fine as long as it's not Arizona heat or something. He'd be okay. Purdy. I was thinking about doing a picture right here, but oh wait. Gotta keep the social media presence going. I kind of disappeared. Whatever I caught from my daughter really screwed me up. It was really bad. I was pretty screwed up. So that messed up my ability to exercise and all kinds of stuff. Oh, the E-start. I thought when I first got this bike I was just going to kick it over, use the E-start in case of emergency. Yeah, that was short-lived. Look at me now, hitting the button every time. This chocolate cake soil. Trail is just so nice. Really enjoy this. It's got a little bit of everything. Good combination of pushing through stuff like this. A little jungly area. Very lush and thick. This is where I come to get trained by Yoda. Teaches me the ways of enduro. I have felt some pretty good progression as far as how I'm feeling on the bike in this ride. I'm actually glad I took this ride before the race is coming up. The balance of the bike, the engine characteristics, ergonomics, handling, suspension, everything. If you ride a different bike, which I've been riding either my Beta 500 or the KTM 450 a lot, get used to those bikes and then try to ride this thing. It's definitely weird. when it gets bouncy like this, these little pebbles start flinging you all over the place, I find it's best just to accept that you're not going to go straight and just try to keep it somewhat straight. Keep your body loose, let things flow down. Otherwise, every rigid aspect of you is going to transition to the bike. You don't want to be rigid at all. If I can go through this creek with minimal dabs going down, that would have somewhat made up for my horrible ride up. I've already dabbed like 2 or 3 times. Alright, that wasn't too bad. Oh. Thank you, Mr. O'Neill, for that one. Thanks for solid boots that can withstand all of my bike weight and my body weight. That was pretty disappointing on that last section, but I'm still breathing, so that's good. Didn't break anything. Still in the non-shadow realm. Didn't get eaten by a grizzly. Or taken home forcefully by a grizzly, which would be even worse for most people. Some people might enjoy that. Man, I've been forgetting to take pictures. This beautiful, beautiful terrain. Look at that. Whew. All right, I'll catch you guys in the next section. Peace.